On this podcast from the band Imagination, it's the flamboyant Leee John.
Okay, on the show today, on the Sands Showbiz Podcast, welcome to Leee. Hello, Leee.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great to have you on the show as well. Thank you very much for spending the time. Great to see you as well with the Flashback Tour that you got on at the moment, because you're heading towards Manchester first on the 29th, and then you're going to Newcastle. You're looking forward to it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my biggest fans are all from out of London, definitely up north, by Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Newcastle, all those areas. They're so die-hard, they're like the Northern Soul fans, they're very much into music of the 80s and Imagination, Leee John. They know stuff that I don't even remember, they say, are you going to do such and such, that song, the point of no return or something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my God, don't forget to sing Thank You, My Love. I get all these kind of things, And, but because I've been doing so many different projects recently, I found I've also got a new fan base, because I did the Gorillaz song, The Lost Call. And that's brought me a whole new generation of music. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go back to the 80s, you and Imagination as well. I mean, I remember you so big about every song of yours on vinyl. I'm lucky enough to be old enough to remember all the 80s, by the way. But yeah, it was iconic music, wasn't it? And you were one of the icons on top of the pops as well, always seen on the show. Very flamboyant, always an entertainer. You've always stayed the same, haven't you?
Well, I love performing, and it's about the audience. It's always been about the audience, and we had some great times on top of the pops. Michael Hill, the producer, he wanted us on. He didn't want to show the videos. He would say, we do the videos, it'd be in the countdown and the rundowns, but he wanted us there physically. So sometimes we'd be flying from Germany or Italy or America to come back to the Top of the Pops show. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. Seriously, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. I remember, especially the first year, I remember when we went to Italy and to France, we were promoting the Body Talk album. And there were different hits around the whole Europe in particular, and then America.
Yeah.
In and Out of Love, Flashback, So Good, So Right, Burning Up, Tell Me Do What My Love Was #1 in Canada. So we were like, one album, it was like an off-the-wall situation. Every track was a hit record, It was a wonderful time.
Yeah, did everything go very quickly for you then? Because it's the beginning of the 80s when you first got going, wasn't it?
It was, well, what happened is things stretched, because in those days, you'd have one record like Body Talk came out, and it would go on for, I don't know, months and months and months and months. Then In and Out of Love came out, and it would go months and months. But then you then had to go to another country and promote the same record.
Right.
Months later. So in, 81, they all came out. By 82, we were still promoting that and getting ready in the UK to promote the second album. So you found by 83, 84, you were still promoting product from way back. It was not. It started. I mean, it's quicker now, but it was later. Everything was a lot later, and then we started touring, of course, and doing shows and everything like that. And then it was like, what was that going to be like? And And it was just it was fast. It was quick, but at the same time, we had to change quickly. We were evolving, and technology was changed. Using sequences, we started to use computers, but not as much as today. But, we started very primitively, like we recorded all our background vocals and spin them in, before we started using samples.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of analog work doing that. It was like, but it kind of, I'm glad I did do that, because I learned, to stack my harmonies and blend them and really understand the music side of things. Yeah,
because you've got an amazing voice range, haven't you, yourself personally? And that's where it all comes from, the energy, doesn't it? Comes from your voice, I think.
Well, we had, Tony Swain was one of the main producers on Steve Jolly. We never, it wasn't like, you should do this or you should do that. It was always an equal combination in the studio, and as a main writer. So when I was writing things, I'd collaborate with Steve, and I'd bring Ashley in, and so it was very organic. It was like you couldn't just write for Imagination.
Yeah.
You had to be part of that. Our family, so to speak. Some people say, "Oh, I've got a song for you. It'd really be good," I remember somebody sent me a track called Body Love, right after we had In and Out of Love. And someone said Body Love. And I thought, yeah, come on, you know. And, yeah, it was crazy. But it was a wonderful period. And it's great that the fans have stuck with us through the years. That's been the main thing. So that's why we're coming to Manchester and Newcastle to do our thing.
Excellent. Because you went to America for a bit, didn't you, as a teenager?
Yes.
And then you came back to London. Did you pick up a lot of, you know, ideas from America when you were there and thought, I want to get back to the UK?
Oh, my God. I mean, it was my parents split, so I ended up going to America with my dad. And it was a very interesting period. It was a period of change in America, especially for Black music. So I was there at the beginning of it when you had Motown going, you had Stax going in, you had on TV, you saw more Black faces. And I was like, oh my gosh, in England, I didn't see that as a kid. You know, I left hearing, I think, Bonnie and Clyde by Georgie Fame or something like that. Yeah, it was it. That's my memories and Puppet on a String, you know, and that was my memory. I came back and I was into my goodness, oh gosh, I was into the Persuasions, the Persuaders, Isaac Hayes, and really heavy stuff. And I was like still, you know, 14 or something.
Yeah.
I was influenced by so much, and I just digested it all. And I was as an early teenager, I was very quiet. I was observing. I was one of those people that did, you know, do routines in my bedroom and things like that. Because my cousins, when we broke out as Imagination and we were in America, they were astounded. They didn't know, who is this person? They thought, you know, because one of my main cousins in America, John, him and his brothers, they used to do all the Jackson 5 movements, and I'd be watching them and eating it all up. And they would do the Love You Save and ABC, and they'd do it really, and they were like, you know, James Brown stuff. And I was there watching it and checking it.
Because you had your own unique flavour, didn't you? I mean, your Imagination's unique, isn't it? I mean, it's a unique sound as well that you brought back, I suppose, and then you went with that. Did you have a plan to do the band when you came back? Do you think, that's what I'm going to do, or did you not really have a plan at all?
Well, I was part of a duo when I was in school, and we got signed to EMI Records. It was called Russ and Lee. Yeah. And that's my extra E, because everybody asked me why it's 2 and 3 E's. I
wasn't going to ask you that.
Thank you. So, you know, it was, and the manager we had managed the David Bowie band, Spiders of Mars. They just split, and he was looking for people on the record label. Yeah. So, you know, we actually, it's like one of those Hollywood stories. We were actually in the lobby of EMI because we'd gone to these different companies and we were writing all our little songs and stuff. Yeah. And we looked at this guy and he had the glasses and the briefcase and, you know, the jacket. He looks like a manager, you know. Yeah. So I said, are you a manager? He said, well, yes, actually. Yes, I'm coming here because he asked, what do you do? And I said, well, we both said, yeah, we sing and everything. So do you want us to sing now? And we started to sing our own songs. All the secretaries, everybody came down and watched us perform. Brilliant. In the reception of EMI. It was a classic moment. And he said, you know, I love your energy. I've got to get you in the studio. And literally he signed us. Wow. Nothing happened. But it was a wonderful experience. We had Gonzalez. Remember Gonzalez?
Yeah, I do. Haven't stopped dancing yet.
Yeah, they were the top session musicians at the time. So we had them on the record. It was a track called Get Up, Part 1, Part 2, not the James Brown version. And we had another track we did that we wrote called One Life to Live. And Thunder Thighs were the backing vocalists on the track. Thunder Thighs did all the, they did backgrounds for Lou Reed's Walk on the Wild Side. Colour Girls go, we had them on the record. So brilliant. There was great associations. Phil Chang played bass and he went off to play with Rod Stewart. You know, you see him in Do You Think I'm Sexy? You know. Yeah. And so we're surrounded by all this stuff with Mayfair Studios. And it was an interesting time. This is way, way before Imagination. Yeah. So I was that kid that was always with the cassette tape recorder running to different companies. And by the time we broke with Imagination, a lot of people in the industry knew me. Because they knew I was that kid that was always, I got a track. They'd said, you're getting there. It's not there yet, you know. Yeah. I had loads and loads and loads of that, you know. In my catalog, I've got these demos and stuff that we had a box set recently, 40th anniversary box. I think I've got it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Flashback Tour. You can get it online.
Brilliant.
And basically, I put a lot of different tracks that as Imagination and myself that had never been released and stuff. But there's a whole Leee John section of stuff that I did way before that. I started doing a lot of sessions. I remember doing something for F-Beat Records for Elvis Costello's label.
Yeah.
And I remember I got paid so much money that I managed to go on holiday to our island of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
That was great. But it was a very grounding period because, I was singing in different bands, pubs and bingo halls, and they were fantastic audiences.
Yeah.
They were really great. People used to go out and enjoy themselves, and we do all sorts of music. So I was kind of learning my trade and getting ready for Imagination. I was kind of like prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. So as a kid, did you have any favorite artists that you used to really home in on and think, yeah, they're brilliant?
Oh, the Motown sound, of course, I loved everybody on there, goodness. Marvin, Stevie, Diana, Supremes, and Paul Thompson. So I became very good friends with Mary Wilson, the Supremes, when she'd come up, she'd bring me and we'd hang out together. And, I got to meet Berry Gordy and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, your idols, it's like crazy. But I also loved jazz, and I loved, I remember in New York, that the ironic thing, I saw Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross. I didn't know even she was a member of the Supremes. That's how out of it I was. Yeah. I just knew this singer, Billie Holiday, and I read the book. And then I started to listen to people like Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald and Satchman and Bessie Smith. And I just got into all of that. And then I came forward and I got into the whole jazz funk scenario. And I loved War, the band called War. And I see them play. And then I think one of the very first shows I saw was Stevie Wonder at the Rainbow Theatre in Finsbury Park.
Right.
And that influenced me so strongly because it was a long show. Yeah. And just everybody was there. I saw Paul McCartney and Eric Clapton, all in the audience. And, I was still a kid, and that really influenced me because the musicality was there, the showmanship was there. I have a very organic sense of things that I attach myself to. I saw Bob Marley at the Rainbow, famous album, I think he done there, and at the Lyceum. And in that time, so many American acts used to come to the UK, and we would just eat them all up. We'd go and see everybody. Like, seriously, there was a place called the Venue. No, it's not the Venue. Sorry, the New Victoria Theatre. Yeah. In Victoria. And, for example, Aretha Franklin came there, I think, in 1980. And she did back-to-back 2 shows. Literally 2 shows. And, we stayed for both, And a lot of other artists did that. And then there was a place called the Venue, which was across the road. And we saw Marvin Gaye there. And eventually we met Marvin in Los Angeles when we did Soul Train. Yeah. I ended up singing in this restaurant to him.
Wow.
Moments. I would say I've had so many magical moments. So it's everything's, hopefully if I get that time to do this book, I'm still working on some of my film projects. Right. So trying to get that finished and then get on to the book situation.
So you never stop. You seem to keep going all the time. You could never give it. I couldn't see you ever retiring and just having a holiday break.
I love it. I'm old school. I mean, some friends of mine said, are you still going to, and I'm thinking, I came into this industry because I loved it. I loved it, and I was passionate about it. And I'm always finding new creative things to do. I'm doing a show for Black History Month at the Shore Theatre. I'm doing a special speech, and it's significant. It's about, I don't know if you remember, there used to be a play called Black Heroes. Yeah. And it was around the late 70s and the 80s, and they toured all over the UK, toured in America. Right. So the actual director and writer, Flip Fraser, they're doing his life. So they've asked me to participate within that special moment. So I've said, Yes, and this is just before I come to Manchester. So that they asked me to host the whole thing, and I thought, no, I can't take that all on. But too much. Oh my Lord, too much, you know. God.
So you do draw the line sometimes and say, no, I can't do that.
I have been saying a lot more no's of late.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know, if I need to sleep. But I love the creative process. I mean, I've got a wonderful project that we decided to do 2 weeks ago, which I took on. And I can't say who with, but it's really exciting because I wrote this track. It was going to be a cover version. And then one of my engineers, who also co-produces with me and stuff, he's been working since the 80s. And we decided, I decided, I don't want to do a cover version. I can write something, you know, I prefer to write something really. So I wrote this track and presented it to this American artist. And I'm not going to say who yet.
I'd like to know now.
I'm testing it. So he's recording it, I think, this week. And then we're adding the music and stuff to it. And it's going to definitely come out. So, I mean, because it's, even in its rawness, it sounds like, oh my Lord, you know, it's like, wow. And it's a message song, which is really, really cool.
When do you think that'll be out then?
I think it could be before Christmas. But having said that, I've just done a jazz album, smooth jazz album with my good friend, Abu Sharp from Shack Attack. So we had a #1 with Take Me Back.
Yeah.
And it's in soul charts, and this was earlier on in the year. And
that's a brilliant song, that, by the way. I love that.
Thank you. Everybody's like saying, oh, we love that song, you know. And we had Mark King playing bass on it, and one of the guys from Mezzo Forte was playing guitar. So it was very connected in that musicality. And then we did a show with Don Gucci, brother Dave Gucci, who Pizza Express earlier this year.
Yeah.
And then we've got a new track. We're getting a very special mix done as we speak.
Like teasers. There's lots of teasers here, Lee.
I know. The track is Double Dilemma, which is on the album. Because everybody said, we like this track, Double Dilemma. And I kind of wrote it during the lockdown.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dark. But I've been trying to get certain mixes. We did one mix that wasn't 100% yet. But there's one that I'm thinking, you know what? This person can do something with this. So I'm not going to say who.
Yeah.
Well, I can say who, but I don't like to test fate. I won't test fate. But I'm also on whose album? Oh, Dennis Bavell. You know, he's in Matumbi. He wrote Silly Games with Janet Kay. I'm on his album. He's doing a dub album, and I've done a version of it's a version of that.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I mean, for me, it's I'm the kind of artist that if I feel I like to do it, I will do it. You know, I'm not held back because I was part of imagination or anything like that. I mean, I did a play last year, which was written by Mike Reed, City of Dreams, which was the Asia Theatre for a month. It was a workshop, and then it started like it was just going to be just a workshop, and we have our script, and then all of a sudden we got the director on board, who was amazing, Ray Shell. He's an amazing, many West End plays and music clips, and once he got on board, everything changed. So from a workshop, it went into complete theatrical production.
Yeah.
You know, the clothes, the lighting, the choreography.
Set off then.
But it was wonderful because I hadn't done that for a long time. It's like going back to college, you know.
Yeah.
So we did that, and I'm hoping to do that again because it was a very good experience. And I like that discipline of, you know, getting, you know, learning the script, learning and being another character as well, you know.
Yeah.
So
you find it hard to remember what you're meant to be doing, though. I mean, I have a terrible job with my memory half the time. I know when I was radio DJ, and I used to think, hang on a minute, I played this song, I've forgotten who it is.
I know. A minute ago, I was talking, I was thinking, who's that? You know, and I mean, his names. It's like, you know, it's like people said, oh, who else have you collaborated with? And I forget. Like last week, was it last week? The week before last? Was it last week? I can see, I'm thinking that. I was with the British Collective, who I did the album with as well.
Yeah.
And that was Omar, Junior Gisco, and Donnie. And we did a Trevor Waters song, which was a big Smith's hit for us not too long ago.
Yeah.
Love Me Tonight. And with the late Noah McCoy, who sadly passed last year. So I went to see them at Pizza Express, and I hadn't seen them for a long while, but something said to me, go down there and see the boys, go down. And they got me up on stage. And it was a lovely reunion, but I'm so everywhere that they can hardly get a hold of me. So
yeah. Are you an organised person then, or not? Or you just?
I have to be to do what I do, and I have management and people that work with me because they know that I'm always on the train. So the situation is someone has to know what is Leee doing.
Yeah.
So otherwise, it's like, I have to keep writing things down. I've got paper everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to you, our drummer, I've got to sort something out with the drum, which is in my mind. But, I think that what I choose, I partition things. So therefore, Monday, we can do that. Tuesday, we can do that. Then we get rid of all that, and you find you can get through things, that's another thing. I have an Afrique track, and I can send it to you. It's called Music with a performer called Billy O'Ban, and he's very well connected. He's known for working with Serge Gainsbourg.
Yeah.
And this is a very Afrique sort of track. It's very different. So that's out there, and it's in the top 10 in the dance chart in France right now.
Wow.
And it's a very colourful video. It's a very Afrocentric sense to it, but still has an urban sense to it. The 12-inch version, I think a lot of people like.
Yeah. So, you did a bit of house and garage yourself, didn't you, in the 90s?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I co-wrote and produced some stuff for Club 69 with Peter Rothaffer. I wrote It Gets Much Better for them. Sugar Pie Diatribe, I wrote. Alpha Baker, I worked with him. I did do it with Tata Baker.
Yeah.
Let There Be Love. Mind, Body and Soul with what's his name? Oh, goodness, going to kill me. DJ. MJ Cole did a mix, which was number one in the dance chart and everything. And I think it kind of went national. It was a huge UK garage hit. Yeah, Mind, Body and Soul.
Was that a change of a direction then? Because did you just, take that? Do you think, oh, hang on, I'm going to turn the page a little bit. I'm going to do that direction of music for a bit. How did that happen?
Well, basically, I produced a version which was I did a jazz funk version,
right? And
I did a kind of a house dance version, and it was at that period where people were doing various different mixes. It was like at the beginning of all that,
yeah.
And then certain DJs would say, "No, it's not going to play. We won't play this. Maybe you should try and mix it back." DJ Fantasy, that's it.
Right.
So DJ Fantasy said, "Leee, can't get your vocals on this. I can really match this up and stuff." I said, okay. So I sent it out and he did it. And there's a crowd of youngsters from the 90s, and that's their track.
Right. Yeah. You get that, don't you? You get an epic track, don't they? All the time.
And then after that, I did a track called The Mighty Power of Love, which was on Freetown. And that was like number 1 or number 2 in the American Hot 100. It was huge. Wow. Because of the Lem Springsteen Mood to Swing mix. And it's still big, because of the power, 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 doo. And that became a really, like a classic, dance house sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I kind of knocked all that on the head for a while. I did do, and someone reminded me, I did a version of Sade's Pearls under another name. That was completely wrong. Shady, they called it Pearls. And Dan You Dance. You can get it online, and because he like the and so I did that. I forgot I did that, And then afterwards, I knocked all that on the head, and I went to do my my jazz album in Rochefort, which was a big turning point for me, which is what I always wanted to do. And we did sort of like an eclectic jazz album, Feel My Soul, which I had Dr. John Watson, who's been working with me since the 80s, with me now. And it was such an experience. And actually, next year it's 20 years since we did the album.
Wow.
So we're going to do some special quartet shows as well.
Yeah. I can't believe the time's ramping on in it. I know you're busy, guys. Super interesting. I could talk all day. Let's go back to the gig then in Manchester. What's the best way people can get tickets for your gig then?
If you go to www.leejohn.com, there's a link on the gig guide, and you can get it there. I think it's on Ticketmaster as well.
Right.
You know, it shows. That's when my memory goes sometimes. I think, where am I performing at? Oh, the band in Manchester.
Yeah.
The Grove, is it the Grove in Newcastle?
Grove, yeah, in Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
That's the day after, isn't it?
That's the day after. And I'm probably going to pop up a day or so before to Manchester to do some more interviews and some more promo stuff. So I like to do that. And also, I love to mix with the people. I get a sense of the audience that I'm going to be performing for. So I tend to do that. I don't just rush there on the day.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things. Now I kind of dance to the tempo of what's good for me. So therefore I'm not killing myself.
Yeah,
you know, it makes no sense. So I try to make sure, you know, like I like sometimes years ago, we'd be going to towns and in the night, and then you leave in the morning and you don't see anything. You know, and the scheduling is crazy. So nowadays I say, I want to get there early, day before, so I can breathe the city, the town, the people, the experience, what they're into, you know, like the fashion stuff, like the music stuff. So I get a sense of everything. And, you know, because I was saying to somebody today, this morning, I was saying, you know, Manchester is its own city. Newcastle is its own city. And you have to take them in those, it's not like, oh, they're relying on London or what have you. They've got a whole combustion of things happening and activity going on. So that's what I like to breathe, you know?
Yeah, brilliant. It's very diverse, isn't it, the UK, really? Within a short range of miles, 100 miles, it's completely different.
It is, and the accent too.
Great accents, yeah, there is.
Exactly, that's the thing, the accents. You know.
Yeah, it's been great chatting to you anyway, Lee. I wish you all the best with the tour and everything. And
are you coming to the show?
I'm coming to the show at Manchester.
Fantastic.
Yeah, on Swan Street, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent.
Right.
I like the buzz of Manchester. It's just a hop on the train from here. It's like an hour or something like that, so it's great.
Oh, okay.
Easy.
Well, I hope to see you then when I get there.
Excellent. Look forward to it. Thanks again. All the best. Speak again soon, maybe in the new year.
Yes, for sure.
Brilliant.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers, Lee. Cheers now. Bye.
Thank you for joining us and sharing in the untold stories of the stars. In the world of showbiz, there's always another story waiting to be told. See you next time. Sands Showbiz Podcast.